Yeah. What's going on, you beautiful bastards? Today, late night with Take 3, another episode. I believe this is episode number 37, 38. I'll probably be corrected here momentarily. But it's another episode. We talk about worldwide movie games, movies, pop culture, all the fun stuff. Very laid back show. We have a great panel today, very involved in, especially in the Week in the World. But I'll introduce my producer today, the man behind the scenes, a fellow member of Take 3, Malcolm Gaudier. Malcolm, what's up, sir?
Pretty good. Just relaxing on a good sad day afternoon here in New Zealand. So yeah.
Alrighty. Gonna go next to my fellow Canadian. You will see him competing in various divisions here in running movie games. More so running the Full Metal Geek division. We have a great opportunity to talk about that match today. Sandy the Sandman Robinson. Sandy, what's up, mister?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing quite well in the sweltering heat of Calgary right now. It is 32 degrees here today. That's Celsius. If you want to know what that is in Fahrenheit, there's an awesome thing on your phone that's called a conversion app. But it is smoking hot here. It was the Calgary Stampede's opening day today, so they had the parade, and it's hilarious to me because every single year that they have the parade, it is like 32, 33 degrees for those poor people that go and line up downtown. And it's worse downtown because it's the core. So it's actually 3 or 4 degrees hotter than it is on the outside. So good for you guys for showing up for the parade. I'm ready to talk some stuff.
Yeah, today, it wasn't as hot today, but I believe it was on Tuesday, we hit 30 degrees. That was without the humidity, as we are surrounded by water. It just gets dry, it gets wet and sticky, and it's just gross. But yeah, also today, over here was the first day of Cavendish Beach Music Festival, where all the country-loving folks flock down to Cavendish to go see Luke Bryan. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think Sam Mendes is playing on Monday. Chris Young would be probably the only one that I would go see. But yeah, it's a big drunk fest for half the island pretty well. They make a lot of money. So I think this is 6 years now that they've been doing it. But last, definitely not least, I have to introduce our new panelist today. He actually competed in the Full Metal Geek match we'll be talking about later. He is the minor threat, Matthew Rose. Matthew, what's up, sir?
Nothing much. I'm here. It's torrential downpours because I live in the lovely area of the southeast where everything is just raining. It's hot and it's raining, and that's it. That's all we got.
I mean, it's gotta be pretty refreshing like that if you go for a walk though. Like if you're inside and it's hot, it's like I wanna kind of cleanse myself. Just go for a walk in the rain. For me, it kind of feels nice. But enough about weather. Let's talk about a week in the world. This is the segment that we talk about everything movie games related. We're gonna start off with the singles match that was uploaded on Sunday, and that is. That would be my partner in crime, Ed Sale, taking on the newest member of the Renegade Angels, Dave Goodger. And what a close match. Dave getting the lead in round one, and then in round two, you had Dave handing off Ed to Denis Villeneuve, and then Ed spun and it's like, nah, fuck you. I got my color, so I'm gonna give you Middle Earth. That worked out well for Ed. Got a lot of steals. And I guess with this match, really, within the last week, it's kind of this new faction the Renegade Angels have developed with Chris Clark as their noble leader. I don't know why he'd be a leader. I'm pretty sure you need a win to be a leader. But enough about Chris. He's a good guy. Let's go to Matthew Rosa first, our new panelist. Your thoughts on the match, and if you're Dave, like you had a couple of missteps in just some pronunciation, and then that 5-pointer saying 12 things they hate about you instead of 10. How do you feel if you're in his shoes?
I feel like for Dave, it was something that happens to me a lot as a competitor too. It was a lot of luck, and every little bit of luck didn't go his way. You know. The number coming up wrong. He doesn't get the category he wants. He ends up with Middle Earth. He fends off the storm, and then in round 3 he gets the questions he doesn't want. It was brutal, but it was a really fun match to watch, and I feel like if I'm the British Bulldog, I'm not ashamed of anything.
Oh. Malcolm, as a fellow member of Atomic Nation, I think this is gonna might be a theme in the next little while. It might be either Atomic Nation against Renegade Angels, might be House Night Fury against Renegade Angels. I can't see Atomic Nation and House Night Fury feuding anytime soon because we're kind of allies, but I guess we're more rivals than we are allies, but like friendly rivals, like competition wise. So what do you think this like means as sort of the beginning, I guess, for Atomic Nation versus Renegade Angels?
Yeah, I mean, this was an interesting match to start off with because, I mean, it was a fun match, and the faction it's pretty much probably going to be Renegade Angels versus Atomic Nation for a while. I mean, maybe a few House Night Fury. They're two factions with a leader without a win yet. So, but yeah.
All right, let's get into our next match. Monday would have been Full Metal Mondays, and this was the match for the last spot for the second ever Winners Challenge, featuring Paul Yama, Dominic Rizzi, one of the Wood brothers. I'm not sure. I forget if it's Andy or Michael. But yeah, Chance Ellison kind of proving why he's the World Eye Movie Games singles champion, taking on the likes of Abe Flores, Ryan Hunter Permison, Chris Clark for some reason was there just to kind of be there, talk shit, and leave. Sandy, you were hosting the match, and you're one of the cool kids over at Full Metal. We'll just talk a little bit about the match itself, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I mean, it's when Chance decides to enter something, there's a real good chance that no pun intended, that he's going to come out a winner. I mean, it's just he's proven it. He's a champion in multiple leagues and multiple divisions for a reason. And yeah, it wasn't even close. So you know. So, but like I will say, like I said at the end of that video, one person in particular really, I've seen a progression upwards to his game, and that's Ryan Permison. He played very, very well, got all the way, to the end. But when you're a couple of questions from being mathematically eliminated in the last round, you have to hope that the competitor that's winning makes a bunch of mistakes, and he didn't. He missed one question the entire match. So Chance Ellison, good on you. Good to see him back in Full Metal Trivia. It was just bad luck for everybody else that ran into the buzzsaw.
Absolutely. We see Matt kind of rage quit there. I guess he wasn't a fan, but now he's back. Matt Rosa has magically joined us once again. Malcolm, I want to go to you next. Chance Ellison obviously coming up against like the likes of Dominic Rizzi, Paul Yama, the other winner, again, one of the Wood brothers. I am really sorry, but who is the favorite? I guess going into Winners Challenge.
Give me the tough questions, why don't you, Brooklyn? This one is really hard because you've got Chance, you've got Paul. Nothing against the other people there. I think it's going to be between Chance and Paul all the way because they're both really big titans in trivia, and they're both really hard to take down. I think one of them is going to win and have the sit on the sidelines while they look for the new peoples.
So I just remembered the question that I had for you. I kind of had a brain fart, and then I had made him a new one. But now I remember the question, so I'll ask Matthew this question as well. 80s fantasy reared its ugly head into round 2 as that god-awful secret category. 80s fantasy is not a good category. How dare you, Sandy? You put that devilish category in there. How would you have done an 80s fantasy math? And with the categories available, I'm trying to remember what else was there. Because I know Abe got the number. He just said, "Fuck it, go see your category." How would you have fared out in 80s fantasy?
Funnily enough, 80s fantasy is not that bad for me because I spend a lot of my time watching terrible 80s fantasy films. So after seeing that category, it was another one of those ones where if I had had the number, I would have probably taken the secret category, like in my match where I ended up, we ended up with the Beatles, and that went really well for me. The secret category wasn't too bad for me, but I could see how it would destroy some other people's nights.
Yeah, absolutely. We now get into the next part of Full Metal, Sandy Robinson's baby, Full Metal Geek, and I mean, when you have just a beast in Robert Parker when he's in the match, it's hard for him unless you have people like Chance Ellison, Alex Ward, and Gregory. Unless you have people in there, it's hard for him to not like just put on a clinic. Unless like Ryan is capable when he has good days, like when he gets a lot of DC and whatnot and Star Wars, I believe this is other strength. But I add over to me first, Matthew. You were competing in that match. You were there heads on. What was it like facing off Robert in his bread and butter?
It was absolutely soul crushing. The second that Lord of the Rings came up, I knew it was going to be rough. If like Star Wars or Star Trek or MCU or anything else comes up, I am going to put up some good points. But the second Lord of the Rings comes up, or Middle Earth, I think the category was, it's just the luck of the draw. There's only so much you can do at that point. And I even said before the round starts, I think I said, no shame in it, but here we go. It was just like, it was off to the races for him.
Yeah, Sandy, this is your child, Robert. I mean, it's hard not to have Robert, or like to not pick Robert as a winner in that panel. But I guess I want to talk about the other competitors. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this sort of format has meant so much so for seeding, I guess, in terms of the future. So what does this mean to the other competitors who unfortunately didn't win, like Matthew Rosa, like the Hunter Permission, like Zadius, like Nazario and Hunter?
So, a really great question. This is what I've been telling people when I group the people into their matches, when I get the right mix of people. No matter what match I put together, there's going to be an absolute juggernaut in that match. There might actually be two in those matches, which is what I try to do. We had one person drop out of that match that I thought might be able to give Robert a bit of a run for money on that one. But that's why I try to tell everybody that it doesn't win. A win is important because you get a win, you're in the tournament no matter what. And you get seated in those first spots, depending on your point. But it's the point totals that are the big contributors here. The more points you're practically playing against yourself. So you want to not think about what anybody else is doing and just focus on your answers to try to get as many points as you want, because those points will then affect whether or not you get. We have over 35 people playing, and we have 16 seeds in the tournament for Worldwide Movie Games. So it's hard to get into. The questions are not easy. They're pretty difficult. Matthew unfortunately ran into some questions that were just not in his wheelhouse. And then Robert rolls, and I did the re-roll. I showed everybody. I said if he would have picked the re-roll, it would have landed on movie release dates. But Robert got his category. He got his category. What can you say? It was Middle Earth, and he ran through it like it was soft butter. But everybody's points matter. There are people that scored in that match higher than people scored in the first match. So that means that seeding is going to work out that way. So for everybody who's still left to compete, which we have just over 30 people left to compete in this, points. That's all I got to say. Jeremy wrote some awesome questions for that match. They weren't mine at all. He wrote great questions for that match. But we're looking forward to the next one, which will be on the 14th or the 15th of this month. So your name gets called, you'll be in the room.
Very excited for that next match, and just to see where exactly things fall in the huge ladder that is Full Metal Geek. That brings us into our next match of the day. I believe this is not debuts, but these are both teams that were either 0-1 or 1-0 coming out of the Big Team Tournament. That is Drop the Mic in Dominic Rizzi and Adam Morales taking on Walk the Talk with Matt Quaylar. Drop the mic, kind of dominating this entire thing. Drop the mic, getting DC movies in round 2, and Dominic kind of showing his dominance pretty well in that category. Malcolm, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I mean, this match was definitely pretty one-sided. I mean, you had Dominic and Adam, I think his partner was, just completely dominating over walk to walk. So yeah, it's not surprising at all.
Yeah, for sure. Matthew, I want to go to you next. Drop the Mic did obviously get the W, but I think maybe the news that kind of overshadowed it is that with the development in the singles league, Luca having to step back due to health reasons. Luca, we wish you the very best. Speedy recovery. You are the Jukebox champion. You are a close friend in this league. But yeah, Luca unfortunately dropped out, so that means that we get Jen Kemp versus Jeremy Adams coming out of retirement for his. For the possibility championship. Sandy tickled pink there. What does this mean for Jen, and who do you got really?
Well, I have to. I don't have to. I am absolutely 100% going with Jeremy. He's been out of the. Not that Jen is not a tough competitor, because she is in. As you've seen, every single one of her matches is near the top upper echelon of players. The only person that is really his kryptonite is Jen is Robert. Robert just keeps on getting beat by Jen, so that's good. But Jeremy, he's hungry. He's really hungry, and really wants the title. And he's already he's already studying. He's already practicing. He's going to do a good job. Jen's no slouch. So it's going to be a tough match, but I think the urgency that Jeremy feels, the hunger that he feels to get a championship title under him is going to be the focus that pushes him through.
Yeah, Matthew, you are a faction mate with Jen Kemp over at the House of Night Fury. What are Jen's keys to victory? Pretty well going up against like the main questioner to Jeremy. Like his knowledge is pretty wealthy.
Well, I can say that immediately after Jen got the news, she completely changed her strategy. She's constantly adapting. When she heard that, unfortunately, Luca, who I'm a huge fan of and sending all my love to, had to drop out of that match, she was ready. She was actually excited to get to play Jeremy again, and she's looking forward to it. And she wants this. She wants to win. She wants to prove herself. She really is serious about everything she's going after. I think her key to victory is playing the way she knows she can play, and that's really all it's going to come down to.
Yeah. Before we get into our next match, I want to say they're in the chat here. I gotta kind of plug the match to them so they can watch, and they're buddies of mine. Shout outs to the poker gang over in Stratford, playing quarter 50-cent dollar raise all in call. Very very fun game. Buddies of mine from work and whatnot. Trevor, I'm pretty sure it's your turn to straddle. So yeah, let's get into the next match of the day, and it's actually in Jukebox, where we had incredible debuts in Jeff Aryu and Adam Morales. A super close game, coming down to one of the last questions in round 3. But yeah, the side that they picked, I think, ultimately determined their results. Jeff getting rock and going 4 for 4 in questions, and then Adam Morales getting 80s and doing fairly well amidst a Chris Clark hiccup where he actually blurted out one of the answers. But Matthew, as an experienced member, and not as an experienced member, but as somebody who made the debut with a bang against one of our panelists here, what do you think about Jeff and Adam's performance?
I was actually about to say, while watching that match, I kind of had flashbacks to me and Malcolm, because Malcolm put on like an amazing performance against me, is just blowing other people's scores out of the water, but I go perfect. So it kind of felt like Jeff was the me in that scenario. He's just unstoppable. And no matter how hard Adam was playing and how close he came to winning, he just couldn't. There was no way to stop it,
Yeah. Malcolm, as somebody else who has competed in this league, what opponents would you, if you were to schedule these guys later on? I mean, the schedule is kind of booked till the end of August, but we'll be looking into probably late September when these guys will be coming in next. So who would you give for each of them? Where would they be close?
That's hard. I mean, I probably would put Jeff up against Matthew, actually, because I think Jeff versus Matthew could be a good match. And as for Adam, I actually can't think of someone that he would probably be up against. Maybe someone like Jeremy or someone like that. So
I actually think the opponents that I kind of have in mind for them, and mind you, this is pending schedules and whatnot and how things happen. I think a good opponent for Jeff Varyu would actually be Sean Sandberg. Very similar strengths, both guys who are 1-0, know their shit about music. And then for Adam Morales, who better to go up against somebody who knows their 80s, like one of the panelists right here, Sandy the Sandman Robinson, knows his 80s, knows his hair metal, all that stuff. Both guys don't have a win, but they're strong. Which would be, I think, very interesting. Yeah, Sandy, your thoughts on Jeff and Adam, and I guess I'll go to you about this match next, where this upcoming Monday is going to be Matthew Rosa taking on Grant Gregory, and what will likely be a heads-up qualifier. Who do you got and why?
Oh, wow. I've seen Grant and Matthew both play jukebox before. They're both extremely well versed in lots of different genres. I probably, and this is like very, very slight. I'm talking, Ant-Man type, slight. I'd probably give the edge a little bit to Grant, based strictly on age. Grant's just been around a little longer, has a little bit more depth into some stuff that might get pulled up, but you never know. Once again, that's what's great about these leagues. You hit a category in round 2, and guess what? It's a knockout or a TKO. So I have all the faith in both of them to play a great match. But if I'm forced to pick by just the margins, I'll go with Grant on that one.
Matthew, I couldn't not ask this question without giving you a chance to speak. So yeah, you playing Grant on Monday. Any words? Any kind of keys to success for you? I mean, what's your edge on Grant?
Grant is doing the exact same thing that Malcolm did. He is trying to taunt me and brag against me because he knows he can't beat me, and I look forward to playing him.
All right. It should be a very, very fun match. But that does it for A Week in the World. Now we get into to our second portion of the segment, Hollywood happenings. We kind of covered the movie news that has gone over this week, and kind of a dry one, but we do have a couple things here kind of rambling about. So first we have, once again, Star Wars news. Carrey Russell getting an unnamed role for episode 9. So I'm sure there's some mass speculation as to who that's going to be. Keanu Reeves posting about the next John Wick movie, releasing the subtitle Parabellum. I'm not sure how that references to the franchise, but we'll see. A lot of people don't like it, but I kind of enjoy it. Idris Elba is set for a role in the Fast and Furious franchise, I believe, as one of the next villains, which I think would be interesting for sure. And then kind of the WTF news of the week, Nick Cage is voicing Spider-Man Noir in the animated universe. Never would have guessed in a million years. Sandy, I want to go to you first. What news stood out for you this week? I can only imagine what it was.
I'll just go real quick through the three that that you brought up. Carrey Russell, Star Wars. I could care less. I hope it's something very small. I hope it's just another one of those instances where they're just getting somebody famous to go in and play in a Star Wars movie, or somebody famous wanted to play in a Star Wars movie, and it's a very, very tiny part. Maybe like Holdo's part was. That's fine, whatever. We have no idea what episode 9 is going to look like now. So, I mean, if she plays the right role, okay, cool. Idris Elba being added to the Fast and Furious franchise as maybe one of the next villains. Okay. I still think that there's a lot of opportunities for Charlize Theron to continue as the villain as she escaped after the last one. Spoilers, it's been over a year and a half, man.
How dare you? How dare you spoil a movie that's over a year old?
Comments. But he's a great actor. He's one of my favorite actors on the planet right now. I was really hoping that he would have been made the next Bond, but that didn't happen. As far as John Wick being introduced, we knew that it was going to be a trilogy. They practically threw it in our face at the end of the last John Wick, which was awesome. The first John Wick is awesome. I expect nothing more than this movie to be awesome as well. So, yeah.
Malcolm, the news that stood out for you this week?
For the Kerry Russell one, I've got a scary thought that it's going to be a recast Princess Leia. I don't want that to be true. If it is, I don't think they need Leia in the movie, but I've got a funny feeling it's going to be. And Nick Cage Spider-Man, okay, if it's good, it's good. I would not have picked him as the voice at all. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. It does look like a good movie.
Yeah. I'm kind of torn. Like, I think initially everybody's thinking, oh, Kerry Russell is going to play. Like, do they maybe do flashbacks, I guess, of Princess Leia, maybe kind of delve into her story? Because, I think it's kind of weird to have someone else play the older Carrie Fisher version of Princess Leia. But Matt, the big news for you this week.
I was so excited about the Spider-Man Noir casting because I keep really close tabs on everything Nicolas Cage does, and it's kind of cool seeing his kind of return to the mainstream. Slowly but surely, he's having more and more movies that people are like, hey, wait a minute, that's actually really good. And, oh, he's good there, too. He's kind of inching his way back from the hell that he was in for the past 10 or so years of just garbage and National Treasure. And so that was exciting for me. Yeah, when I heard Kerry Russell had been cast, I was worried that it's Princess Leia. I hope that it's not. And to talk about John Wick, I think it's going to take a miracle for them to make a bad John Wick film. John Wick is so good. The second one's so good. I think, it's gonna take a miracle for the third one to not be good.
Can
I ask a small follow-up question to Matthew?
Absolutely.
Matthew, what Nick Cage stuff has come out in the last 10 years that would keep you on his bandwagon?
Nothing. I just really love the character that is Nick Cage. I like who he is more than his movies.
That's awesome. That's the best answer you could have given right there. That's great.
Yeah, in terms of the John Wick franchise, I think it's one that's like, it's everyone kind of is like, oh yeah, John Wick happened. It's really good, and like I think there's, because of the mystery of the franchise that it isn't based off of anything really. It's kind of a speculation as to, there's no speculation as to where the story will go. So I think that has it going for them. Jonathan Peck in the chat, he wanted to talk about Miles Teller being cast as Goose's son in the next Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
I haven't. Sandy, I believe this is your neck of the woods here. The floor is yours.
So Miles Teller is being portrayed as so far the rumor is that he's Goose's son. So we saw Goose's son very, very briefly in Top Gun because his mom was, of course, Meg Ryan. So for Maverick to be the old guard, and for Goose's son to be coming up as a pilot and to be going through this training and, to be with Maverick again is kind of smart. It's kind of a smart thing to do. Is it definitely connects the two together, so that they're sequels instead of it just being a remake or, something else. So it'll be interesting to see. Miles Teller, as we all know, is a fantastic actor. Will he be able to pull off the part? Yeah, I think so. We'll see. it's an interesting casting. I think it's kind of cool. Let's see what happens next year. Right? So
yeah. I see, like for me, like my favorite movie of all time is A Few Good Men, and I was like, if they were ever to remake that movie, Miles Teller would be my Tom Cruise. I think that he would be a great character for that. But it's good to see that him venture into this remake. Hopefully, it does not bomb like his last remake attempt. Cough cough. Fan four stick. Cough cough. But a question that I have for you guys, because we have a little bit of time with it being a smaller band that we don't discuss as much, with Nick Cage voicing the Spider-Man Noir, who would be another addition to the Spider-Man universe as a different one? I'll throw out one, and I think this kind of was one I was thinking about briefly. Michael Pena as Spider-Man 2099, I think would be kind of interesting. Kind of have that sharp wit that you really need for the Spider-Man-esque character, and obviously Spider-Man, 2099 having the Latino origin in Nueva York, I think would be kind of cool. And I think Spider-Man 2099 is probably the next one other than Ultimate Spider-Man for fans wanting a movie about him. Nope, Sandy's shushing me. Okay, three words. No,
that's just me saying no Ultimate Spider-Man. 2099. Let's do that one next. I'm excited to see this new animated one with Miles Morales in it. It's going to be fantastic. We're giving the fans what they want to see. I love the Miles Morales run through the comics, so I'm happy to see that movie come out and animated, and it looks fantastic. Yeah, I want to see the 2099, and Michael Pena is a great, quick-witted person to do that. I would like to see maybe somebody a little younger take the role, take that role for that one. If you're asking me for anybody specific, I don't have anybody in mind for specifics of who could do that one. But I think that you're right. Those are the two next obvious choices to put onto film. Let's see which one it is, and then let's tear apart how they cast it.
Absolutely, Matthew. I believe you are a comic book nerd. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, who would be the next Spider-Man that you would cast?
All right, can I give like a total never gonna happen, but it's fun to dream one?
Sure, we all have dreams.
David Tennant as Spider UK would be so fun. That would be so fun. I would love David Tennant playing Spider UK. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think he'll ever find his way into the Spider-Verse, but David Tennant would make a perfect Spider UK.
Yeah,
that's my pick.
That would be pretty cool. Malcolm, who do you got?
Yeah, I mean this Into the Spider-Verse movie is really shaping up really good, because with the fact they've brought in I expect 2099 will be coming into it as well. But one that is confirmed to be in the movie but no voice confirmed is Spider-Gwen. And I would actually like to see them do a creative casting and have Emma Stone voice Spider-Gwen, because she played Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So it'll be a good sort of better kind of casting.
I don't know if I want Emma Stone. Like I love Emma Stone as an actress, but then I went Kristen Bell, because I think Kristen Bell would be kind of cool. Maybe like a Haley Steinfeld would be another good one. Chloe Grace Moretz, kind of. I don't know. Jonathan Peck. Jonathan Peck has given us the ultimate question, guys, in terms of Spider-Man casting. Who would you cast as Spider-Ham? Peter Porker.
Gotta go with Babe the Pig.
Babe the Pig. Sandy.
I'm gonna go with that Simpsons pig, Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
And have Homer sing the song.
Oh, wow. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I actually got it right. Haley Steinfeld is voicing Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Man animated movie.
I didn't realize they'd actually cast her.
Hashtag Schmodown Trivia. Malcolm, yeah, who would you cast as Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham, I'll probably cast Wilbur the Pig from Charlotte's Web.
Wilbur the Pig.
Nice.
I would pick Piglet. I think Piglet is very agile, and maybe it's that fear that drives him over the edge. But enough about spiders and pigs and whatever spider pigs do. Let's get into the next section, kind of our pop culture, where it's kind of free verse depending on who you ask. But we do various topics. We've done movie games, video games, TV. We tried to do music one day, but it flopped. But now we're going to do, with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out this week, we're talking about Paul Rudd movies, and just kind of like for me, Paul Rudd, I think what he's done so well and what keeps him relevant is that he has, like, he's very aware that he's a typecast actor, that he's kind of like this lovable dick kind of thing, where it's somewhere that he has a dial and that he can turn it down and turn it up when he makes. For me, it's like Anchorman is where he's an ultimate douche, but it's just so funny when you think about like Sex Panther and like 60% of the time it works every time, but then you see it toned down in films like Perks of Being a Wallflower and kind of Wet Hot American Summer. Excuse me. Well, Matthew, I'll go to you first. Like Paul Rudd movies, what are some of the ones that stand out?
I think my absolute favorite film with Paul Rudd is Wet Hot American Summer. I love that movie. I love the series that have come after it. So many great actors and actresses getting their start there, and I feel like Paul Rudd really is important to that film, even though he is, as you said, kind of in a more subdued role. And then, of course, Ant-Man. And as silly as it is, Ant-Man being, a comic book film as it is, but really, Paul Rudd does shine in Ant-Man when I never thought I would care about an Ant-Man film as much as, that movie made me care about Ant-Man.
Yeah. I think Sandy might be away. Malcolm, Paul Rudd movies, what are the ones that stand out for you?
Yeah, for me, like Ant-Man is probably the one that surprised me the most, because before, when he was cast as Ant-Man, I thought I was actually kind of thinking, like, well, I mean, it's an interesting choice because for him, and he blew it at the park, and I actually just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp last night, and it's pretty phenomenal. But I'm not going to say any more because otherwise I'll spoil it for people. So, but Anchorman is probably up there when it comes to Paul Rudd movies, as well as like 40-Year-Old Virgin and stuff like that. He's just a really great actor and got in a lot of good stuff. So,
yeah. Before I get to Sandy, I guess the kids in the chat are mentioning Role Models, the movie that did Sean William Scott. Like that was pretty funny for a little bit. Sandy's going into Hulk mode. You guys better go to him before he snaps. Did I take away Sandy's thunder? I took away Sandy's thunder. I took away Sandy's thunder.
So I prepared for this for this thing and I went through his filmography and picked out my 4 favorite Paul Rudd movies, and I'll start in from favorite all the way down to the end. So my favorite Paul Rudd performance is as Ant-Man, but it's actually in Civil War.
Okay.
I thought he was hilarious in Civil War. He became Giant Man, so yay! That was fantastic. Clueless is another one that lots of people forget that he's in, but he played Cher's love interest and sort of stepbrother-ish, weirdest, but whatever. So I love him in that movie because he's great. Role Models was my third one because he teamed up with Sean William Scott, and it was very, very funny. Another one that's very, very underrated that he was in. Our Idiot Brother, which I really, really loved. It was a great movie. So those are, and he's been in a ton of stuff. Like if you go and look at his filmography, just like voice work or cameos or little parts and stuff like that, he's been in a ton of stuff. So he's a great working actor in Hollywood, and now he's finally starting to get some very good starring roles. And I know that people want Anchorman and they want things along those lines. I've never seen Anchorman, so I can't use it at all. No, I know.
Oh, a wild Matthew Kurtz appeared. He's all yours.
I hate Will Ferrell, so there you go. You come at me more for that.
Oh, that hurts.
Why do you
wild
hate Will Ferrell, Sandy?
Sandy Robinson, you just hate Will Ferrell. Matthew Kurtz, it is your turn.
Will Ferrell is legit the least funny person to land on the planet Earth since Tom Green. Yes.
Wait a second. Time out here. Rob
Sam-
Schneider exists.
Elf?
Amy Schumer exists.
No. Amy Schumer is
Amy Schumer's
hilarious.
funny.
How dare you?
Amy
Live at the-
Schumer's funny.
Live at the Apollo is an incredible stand-up. In terms of non-funny actors, Russell Brand is the one that's
Rob Schneider.
comes
Hey,
to
we're
mind.
talking about Paul Rudd. Russell Brand was in a movie with Paul Rudd. So
Who's the guy in Grandma's Boy? He's in all the Adam Sandler movies, but he just plays the same character.
Rob Schneider.
No, not Rob. Rob Schneider is in every Adam Sandler movie.
Everyone.
Not David Spade, but he was the lead in Grandma's Boy. But he plays the same character in every fucking Adam Sandler movie, and it's just
I'll get
boring.
it for you.
Thank you.
I'm looking it up right now, yeah.
But yeah, a wild Matthew Kurtz appeared into the battleground. Matthew, what's up, mister?
Yeah, I come in here just to... Oh, it's Alan Covert?
Alan Covert.
Alan Covert.
Fuck. Okay, what are we talking about that got Sandy on this Will Ferrell hate train?
So we're talking about how he hasn't seen Anchorman, but the big topic today was Paul Rudd movies in honor of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Wait, time out here. You're hating on Will Ferrell and you haven't seen Anchorman, Sandy? Come on, man. That's not fair. That's like saying I hate Harrison Ford, yet I haven't seen Star Wars or Indiana Jones. It's like, you really judge him?
On the same,
it's all good. I'm not gonna hate you, Sandy.
He plays in every single movie.
I would say Ron Burgundy and Buddy the Elf are two completely different characters.
It's not the character; it's how he acts with them.
Okay.
That yelly, screamy humor that he loves to do, and it's not my cup of tea, but I understand.
No, and that's fine. And I'm just gonna say, but that's also kind of like saying, George Carlin, his stand-up was the same throughout his entire career, which was pissed off white man. That was his shtick, and he never changed it. But we love George Carlin.
George Carlin's Jammin' in New York is like top 3 stand-ups for me.
He's the best.
Yep. But if you didn't like George Carlin because of the way he does his stand-up and because of the way he pulls things, like he's the ultimate in observational humor. So, if you didn't like that type of humor, I would understand that because it takes I'm not the biggest Richard Pryor, but I appreciate Richard Pryor for what he does. Now, I will say that one that stand up with that Will Ferrell did was as when he did his with W when he was playing George W. Bush. Now that legit was funny and I laughed, but he was playing somebody that and acting like somebody like a buffoon. It's like watching Alec Baldwin play Trump. It's funny or Phil Hartman playing exactly. It's just so
Hartman. I literally, not to cut you off, Sandy, but I literally just watched the Bill Clinton Goes to McDonald's SNL sketch yesterday. God, I miss Phil Hartman so much. That sketch is amazing. And also, Sandy, you know what? I will say this as a huge stand-up comedy fan. Comedy, especially stand-ups, is the most subjective thing in the world. Like, Bill Murray is my favorite comedian, and I know my sister hates Bill Murray, but I freaking love him. So I understand it.
So not a word of lie. People can hold me to this. Next week we'll be talking about stand-up comics. I think that is that's
Wait, okay. Can we do?
How do I miss out on stand-up comics?
I just watched Stripes the other day. And it's one of my top 50 movies, and I never really had a platform to talk about Stripes. So can we talk about their movies? Because we need to talk about how amazing Stripes is.
Plus, I mean, I've already debated that Saint Vincent is the better Bill Murray movie over Stripes, but that is another option for
Bill Murray's best movie. Here's the thing.
It's Saint Vincent.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna debate with you that Groundhog's Day might be better.
I think Groundhog Day is Bill Murray's best. Yeah.
Well, I mean, my favorite Bill Murray role is still Peter Venkman, but that's not a Bill Murray movie.
But it's a movie
that's
starring.
an
But
ensemble
it's a
film.
movie starring Bill Murray.
It's an ensemble movie. I count it differently, whereas Stripes
Is
is
a
Bill
Bill Murray
Murray,
movie.
whereas Groundhog Day, it's Bill Murray's movie. He's the central character, whereas, like, let's be honest here, I'm not, Bill Murray,
Well,
thank God he did play, but he wasn't even supposed to play Venkman originally.
Let's not forget Bill Murray in Lost in Translation, where he got
Oh,
nominated for
yeah.
basically everything.
I like
Or-
St.
or how
Vincent more.
or-
Okay, but you know what I will say, Brooklyn?
Bill Murray, Zombieland.
What?
Bill Murray should have
Yeah.
been nominated for St. Vincent. He
Yeah,
should have
he
been
should've
nominated for St.
Well,
Vincent.
he transformed himself like that accent. Like when you first hear it in the movie and you don't see him, you swear to God it's somebody else.
Yeah, but he is so, and he the thing I love about Bill Murray still is, like, as a comedian, as an actor, he understood his age. Like, he wasn't one of those comedians who was like, I'm going to do the same shit I did when I was 30. He's like, no, I'm an old guy. And St. Vincent is literally him like, let me play a really old guy who's seen a lot of shit. And that's why it's such a good movie.
So so it's actually great. Now that Matt Kearns is here, we can now do our little mini debate that we've ended last show. Sandy Robinson will be defending his impromptu speed round championship of the world. Going up
I was
against
robbed. I was robbed.
He'll be going up against Matthew Rosa, Malcolm Lay, and Matthew Kearns in a absolute slobber knocker. Okay. I have.
Wait, what are we debating here?
We're
gonna find out.
I have questions here. They're gonna be
Oh,
Paul Rudd's
okay.
themed. Okay, so I have two numbers between 1 and 4. Whoever gets the numbers right will be paired up. So,
2.
Okay, Matthew.
2.
Or is Matthew? There's two of you. There's Matt
You can
Kearns
call
and
me
Matt
Kearns.
Rosa.
You can call me
Kearns?
Kearns.
Okay, Vinnie Kearns. You pick 2. Rosa.
4.
Okay, Sandy.
I'm just surprised that the champion didn't get to pick first. That's all. I'm just
Well, in Brooklyn's defense, like, I just shouted out a number. I want to fight Sandy. I don't care about this number stuff. I want to take Sandy on. Can we bypass this? I want to take you on, Sandy.
Sandy? What number do you pick?
What out of the 4 numbers that I haven't been paying attention to, how many are left? Or there's
4
2
and
left?
2 have been selected.
4 and 2 have been selected. So I will choose. I'll choose 3.
Okay, and Malcolm.
1.
All right, so the numbers that I had were 4 and number 1, which means Matthew Rosa, and Malcolm we paired up, and then we got Kearns and Sandy going up in our little
Sandy.
semifinals here. So
My buddy.
Matthew and Malcolm will be going up first. The other competitors will be judges along with myself. This is a standard speed round format. If you say first, then you go first. You will have 20 seconds. 20 seconds for your opening. We did 2015 or 2010.
We did 20 and 15.
Okay, so 20-second open, 15-second rebuttal. Again, if you speak first, if you give your answer first, you will go first. So the question that I have for you, gentlemen, is this. With Paul Rudd being cast as Ant-Man in the MCU, what comedic actor should next join the MCU? As what hero?
Ooh. I'm glad I'm not fighting this, but that's a good question.
And chat, chime in here because your opinion will influence my vote.
Give me
Jim
like
Carrey.
Franco like multiple man.
Okay, I heard Malcolm first as Jim Carrey, but I didn't get a hero. So
Well,
because I heard Malcolm first, so Jim Carrey as somebody, and then I had James Franco as multiple man from Matthew. Was that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what hero is Jim Carrey playing?
Or villain. You just said join the MCU. You didn't say as a hero.
Yeah.
Fuck, I did have a mind. I can't remember what it is. Adam Warlock.
Is playing Adam Warlock. Alrighty. So,
Effective work.
Mr. Ooh, there was a really good choice for Jim Carrey here, but in the chat, but I'll save it for later.
I don't think
all
that's a good choice for him, actually. If I'm
I
being
don't
honest.
think it's awful. Malcolm, you have 20 seconds. Time starts whenever you start speaking.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jim Carrey hasn't done a lot recently, but I mean, I think he would do great as Adam Warlock because I think his humor will
10.
just cut in to Adam Warlock and be able to bring the character to life in ways
5.
that most people would not have thought possible.
Time. Okay, perfect. That's 20 seconds for you. Mr. Rosa, 20 seconds begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, so James Franco, I don't know how much everyone knows about Multiple Man, but Multiple Man is this kind of subdued, very funny guy from New Mexico. And I feel like that perfectly embodies everything James Franco represents. Although he's not from New Mexico, he
10
can
seconds.
play that subdued humor so well that he is going to be better than Jim Carrey as Adam Warlock. Because there's no
5.
natural fit for Adam Warlock in the MCU, and Multiple Man fits right in.
Perfect time. Malcolm, rebuttal. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Yeah, well, like with Multiple Man, I don't know where he can be put that would make sense at the moment. Adam Warlock has at least been confirmed to appear later on in the MCU. I can't imagine where you could place Multiple Man in the MCU.
Interesting rebuttal. Mr. Rosa, 15 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, Jim Carrey, all of his roles lately have been absolutely terrible. James Franco is on a hot streak. James Franco is an actor they would actually be looking at to give a role like Multiple Men, give him a role that is in his wheelhouse. Jim Carrey is not, it's not in his wheelhouse to play Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock needs to be more of a hero than Jim Carrey could ever be.
All right. An interesting debate to say the least. I want to start off with Mr. Kurtz first. Actually, before I get to Mr. Kurtz, what I think was the better choice for Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey as Carnage, I think would have been really cool. You can kind of just hide him in CGI, and he would have been phenomenal. But yeah, Mr. Matt Kurtz, what do you got and why?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Malcolm for his rebuttal. I think the fact that he, how he talked about the fact that Warlock's already being worked in, and I also think he made good points for why Jim Carrey could work for it, but that kind of hit more of just like Multiple Man could really work in the MCUs right now, so that's kind of what won it for me.
Yeah. Sandy, what do you got?
I liked Matthew's rebuttal against Jim Carrey being it because he has not been on a hot streak whatsoever, and I think that you need somebody who is on their game to pull off somebody like Multiple Man. But I'd love to see Jim Carrey get a win, but I got to go with Matthew Rose on this one.
Yeah.
So it comes down to Brooklyn again.
And chat has been quiet on this one, so they haven't been much help.
Oh no, Brooklyn has to think for himself.
Oh fuck you, Kurtz. I am gonna go with.
Go get your wife. She'll make all the decisions as per usual.
You sound surprised. I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Mr. Rosa. I'm gonna go with Matthew because of how he handled the rebuttal of Jim Carrey of Multiple Man not being good not having a spot in the MCU, but then he kind of counteracted that with Jim Carrey kind of not being the right fit for Adam Warlock, and I think that he had a little bit more knowledge of Multiple Man and kind of an idea of like not necessarily where he's gonna hop in, but what he could provide. So I'm gonna give Matt the point. Matt's gonna advance. All right. So we now guess a battle of a rematch from last week. We have Sandy taking on Mr. Kurtz in what's gonna be a slobber knocker. So the question I have for you guys, Matthew and Malcolm, you're gonna be my judges on this one. So the question that I have for you guys: what has become more popular? Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. With movies like Ant-Man and I Love You, Man, which of the two things have become more popular? Ant-Man or Rush?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
All right, so I heard Mr. Kurtz first. He's going to be arguing why Ant-Man has become more popular. Sandy, you'll be arguing why Rush has become more popular. For me, Rush got a huge boom after it's heavily referenced in I Love You, Man. I think a lot of kids in our age got into them, and they became the cool band to follow. But Matt, I heard Ant-Man first. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, so here's the thing. Ant-Man went from a character that pretty much only hardcore Marvel fans knew to a character that everyone knows. From the minute Paul Rudd was cast in it, people went back and they started looking at the comics. And then, of course, when the movie came out, you can argue the quality of the movie, but the fact of the matter is Paul Rudd playing it, and also the fact that it was an MCU movie, people want to go and check out the character, and now I'm pretty sure if you look at comic book sales, they have risen since 2015.
All right, before I get to Sammy's argument, Jess saying in the chat, gonna force a Canadian to argue Rush? Rigged, I tell you, rigged. Sandy, you gotta argue why Rush is more popular over Ant-Man. 20 seconds, time begins whenever you start talking.
All right, really simple. Ant-Man's been in 3 movies. Rush has got over 20 albums. Ant-Man is a written composition by somebody else, and somebody else is playing Ant-Man and reading somebody else's line. Rush wrote all their stuff. They are in the they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're one of the #1 touring bands on the planet. That's why they're better than Ant-Man.
All right. Okay, so 15-second rebuttal. Matthew Kearns, you were up first. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, you walk down this street, like a random street in New York City, you hold up a picture of Ant-Man, you say, who's this? Most 95% of people are going to go, oh, that's Ant-Man. Hold up a picture of Rush, 95% of people probably won't be like, oh, that's Rush. I mean, this just comes down to movies are more popular than music is today, and Ant-Man being in the MCU, one of the most popular things, makes him more popular.
All right, Sandy, your rebuttal. Time begins whenever we start talking.
If you're going to use the same mediums, if you walk down the street in New York and you had a boombox and you played Tom Sawyer, everybody would sit there and know exactly what song you were talking about and the band that sang it. Not everybody would recognize Paul Rudd. If you put a picture of him up in front of somebody, they might recognize him.
2, 1.
But, Tom, the music is better.
Really torn. I'm really torn. I'm going to vote first because I was waiting for Sandy to say one thing, and like one of the biggest quotes in I Love You, Man was slap at the bass, and he was referring to Geddy Lee in that moment, and I think that's why Rush became so popular, is because of that almost meme. So as much as it pains me, I want to vote Rush so bad because I think Rush has become more popular than Ant-Man ever will. I'm going to get the vote to Kearns because I was waiting for Sandy to say slap at the base. I can't. I'm sorry. Matthew Rosa, who do you got and why?
It came down, see, for me, I feel like Sandy did say enough in his rebuttal. I felt like in his rebuttal he was kind of diffusing the argument that you shouldn't use the same medium, and that they're 2 totally different forms of media to be, taken in. So actually, I'm going to, based on the arguments, not based on my love of either, I'm going to go with Sandy.
All right, so it's tied up. Malcolm, the floor is yours. It is either your fellow Take 3 member or your fellow Atomic Nation member. The choice is yours.
Yeah, this is a tough choice, but I mean, as much as it pains me to do this, but I'm going to have to go with Matthew on this because, as Jess pointed out in the chat, the question was what has become more popular, not which is better. And I think Sandy kind of lost the track and then ended up talking about how Rush was better than Ant-Man as opposed to become more popular. So, yeah, that's why I'm giving Matthew the point there.
Has Ant-Man won an Academy Award? Has it won a Golden Globe? No, I said Rush is in the Hall of Fame.
But did Rush come in the Hall of Fame because of I Love You, Man?
They came into it because they're the more popular, and that's why they're winning awards.
Hey, Sandy, listen, buddy, you lost. It's okay. Go to the towers, buddy.
I swear to God, if you turn Sandy into the Hulk, I will shut the stream down right now.
Sandy, my friend,
I'm
giving you a hug from New York. I'm giving you a hug. That was a well-fought battle, and I love Tom Sawyer. I have it on my iPhone.
I lost, and I am more than happy to hand over the virtual title
to the winner, Matthew Civil War. A Matthew Civil War.
I can do this all day.
All right. Okay, so Matthew versus Matthew. The winner will become the new speed round late night pay-per-view champion of the world.
Kurt Russell, something with Kurt Russell.
It's not. All right. Question. All right. Your question. Your question is. I gotta think here for a second. I gotta make sure it's good.
Oh God, I love it.
Cool. Last time I did this, Matt was like, "Oh, I have a question that we can."
Yeah, I know. I wrote a question.
That'll be interesting. Okay.
Does it change anybody's opinion that I almost beat Matthew and I've never seen I Love You, Man?
I've never seen I Love You, Man either, and I beat you, so.
Yeah, you've seen Ant-Man.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I've got a question here.
Perfect.
Ooh.
All right. Excellent. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, just a small plug. On Monday, I'm doing the top 12 best portrayals of a character in the MCU. But the question is, what is the worst portrayal in an MCU movie?
Good question.
Oh, Kurt. Oh, wait. Do we have to buzz in with our names or with our...
Ed Norton Hulk.
Not Matt. No, not you, Matt Rosa. Oh yeah, sorry. It is Matt Rosa. Ed Norton Hulk is first. Yeah.
Okay, Ed Norton Hulk. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
You're killing me.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Aldridge Killian from Iron Man 3.
Interesting. All right, so we have Ed Norton Hulk against Aldridge Killian, played by Guy Pearce. Matt, Mr. Rosa, you said Ed Norton first. 20 seconds. Time begins whenever we start talking.
About to give you a little bit of coy Andrew. When you talk about the MCU and you look at the Rotten Tomato scores for all of these films, you see that The Incredible Hulk has a 67 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not due to the performance of Liv Tyler or William Hurt. They are both solid in that film. It is because Edward Norton was a terrible Hulk. Edward Norton had to be replaced with Mark Ruffalo to make the Hulk matter again. There has never been another Hulk standalone film because studios don't believe.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Keep going. Time. Cool. Very coy genre-esque. Mr. Kearns, 20 seconds. Floor is yours. Time begins whenever you're talking.
Here's the thing about Aldridge Killian. No one gives a shit about this character. No one cared. Everyone was so mad that he was the fake-ass Mandarin. Everyone would much rather prefer the movie with the actual... Aldridge Killian was a character who they didn't even really understand what his motivations were in the movies. They kept flip-flopping it. It went from, he's trying to run this business, to he's just mad at Tony, and he kind of rips off Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Time. All right. 15-second rebuttal. Mr. Rosa, you are first. Time begins whenever we start talking.
Everyone hear me?
Can he not hear?
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Edward Norton was portrayed. You said it yourself, a beloved character with the Hulk. The Hulk needed to be portrayed well. The Hulk wasn't portrayed well. They had to replace him with Mark Ruffalo. It is a problem that a character everyone loved was poorly portrayed.
Oh.
No one cared about this portrayal of the Mandarin.
All right,
no one cared about the Mandarin. You said it yourself.
Cool. All right. Mr. Kurtz, 15 seconds. Time begins. Never talking.
First thing, he didn't play the Mandarin. He played Aldrich Killian. Second, this is not what is the most beloved character that was messed up in the MCU. This is worst performance in the MCU. No one talks about Aldrich Killian anymore because people hate him. There are fans of Edward Norton Hulk out there. Just go and look online. Whereas Aldrich Killian, no one cares. I couldn't even remember Guy Pearce played him.
Challenge. The question was best character portrayal. It wasn't best performance.
No,
it was worst character portrayal was the exact wording.
We have judges here to make this very close decision. Sandy, as the former champion, I'm gonna go to you. What do you got and why?
Well, I think both answers are incorrect. Whoever the bad guy, I think wasn't it Zemo was the bad guy in Age of Ultron?
Daniel Brühl.
Worst ever performance in an MCU movie, but as far as the question was the worst performance by an MCU actor. Is that what it was?
Yeah, what was the question? I thought it was like worst character. I thought that was
worst portrayal in an MCU movie.
Okay. Maybe I lost it because I was
the worst playing that character.
All right. Yeah. You had your arguments already.
Anyways, there's still room. There's still room here. It's not. It could be close here. We'll see. Sandy, who do you got and why?
All right. I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with Matt Kearns on this one, just because I loved the portrayal of Edward Norton for the Hulk. And it wasn't because his portrayal was bad that he was let go and Mark Ruffalo was done. It was because he was a dick off screen and wanted more money and creative control, which is why he was replaced, not because of his portrayal. So that being based on just that fact alone, I will go with Kearns, and it just...
It pains Sandy to say it.
So I am going to go next, and I'm actually going to go with Matt Rosa for the reason of when I heard Kearns debating, I heard more so. I didn't hear what it was that Guy Pearce said that was the incorrect portrayal. It was more so the writing, I guess, and how they developed the character and the arc that it took. So I am going to go with Matthew Rosa, just because I think he had the better argument there, and I think Matt might have went a little bit askew. So once again, Malcolm, the floor is yours. There is a vote for Rosa. There is a vote for Kearns, who is the new late night take 3 speed round debate champion of the world. Wide.
You know what to do, Malcolm. Not to say your career in Rankum depends on this, but your career in Rankum depends on this.
Who invited Vinny here? Why is Vinny here? Vinny, can you go home,
Dude,
please?
You wish Vinny was here.
Don't you have a sandwich to demolish?
Hey.
Voices in my head. Anyway, I mean, this is hard because, I mean, I feel like Matthew had the right choice with Guy Pearce's Killian, but I think that Rosa made the better argument for Ed Norton's Hulk, which I did actually like. So but because of the argument itself, I'm gonna have to go with Matt Rosa on this.
This is bullshit. I would like to formally announce, before the celebration, guys, I really apologize, but we have a free opening on Sunday on Take 3 for any show anyone's got. Rankum has been canceled. No, good work. You know what the biggest issue was? A good debate. The biggest issue was I didn't quite hear the question because Malcolm Krata, I thought we were just fighting worst character, not performance. Thought we were fighting the worst character.
Okay, so if it was worst performance, do you still keep your answer, or who do you change it to?
I mean, because Ed Norton, I actually don't think he's the issue with that movie. If I was going for worst performance,
If it was worst performance, I would have gone Terrence Howard as War Machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
almost want to go. What's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy? The villain, Ronan the Accuser.
Oh yeah.
Or actually, no. James Spader as Ultron.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
wasn't very good. He was not very good at all. It was the voice that carried him. The betrayal was awful. Oh, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna hold on here.
Jonathan Peck here in the chat is mentioning Malekith in Thor 2, played by what's his name, Doctor Who kid, Colin. Nicholson.
Canadian boy, you were shit talking me, huh? Huh?
Vinny,
you blabbermouthing about me, huh? Huh? What you guys say? What you guys say?
Where to go crawl through? No.
What? No. Did you guys talk about this is a national freaking holiday and you're saying here? This is Stallone's birthday.
Canada Day was Sunday. Canada Day was Sunday. That was last week.
No. Canada Day. Who the fuck cares about Canada? What war have you guys even fought except for the war of the pussies? Come on. What is this bullshit right here, okay?
Have you never heard of the song "The War of 1812" by I think it's called the Ringworms? I'm not sure.
I'm sorry.
But anyways,
did Frank Stallone do it? Because I probably didn't fucking hear it.
Oh, damn it. Now listen, Vinny, you're intruding on the win here.
Excuse me. I pay good money, good rent to live in that closet there. Okay.
Taxi coupons don't count as a form of income. I mean,
whoa. Excuse me.
You can go
through I collect unemployment fair and equally. Now, I might do it under some different identities every other week, but that's between me and the U.S. government.
You file Pogey. What are the answers to the 5 questions? What are the answers to the 5 questions?
Stallone. That's always the answer.
The answer is no, yes, no. That is the answer for filing Pogey.
Whoa.
Time out here. Of Pogey, how dare you discriminate against
unemployment insurance? What's this Pogey shit? You know what? You're just like these. You're like Christian Smith trying to convince me that a corgi is real. What?
No, you've never heard of Pogey? You've never heard of Pogey? Sandy Robinson has heard about Pogey.
Is this like a corgi? Is this this shit with they're trying? Corgis are not a real thing, okay? Christian Smith is going to tell you that a corgi is a real thing. It's just a dog. It's a freaking dog.
Sandy, can you help me inform Mr. Vinny here on Pogey and the great things that Pogey provides to mostly East Coasters?
Pogey. You Canadians are all weirdos. The one good thing you got going for you is hockey. That's it. That's all you got.
Well, for 4 months, 5 months of the year, the hockey players, they collect Pogey too. They are out of work. And what you collect when you're out of work.
Excuse me, time out here. I'm not out of work, okay? I'm not out of work.
What was your last job, Vinny?
My last job? Well, let's see. Besides nailing your mother, my last job was construction.
Kathy Vale is a saint. How dare you? Kathy Vale is a saint.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she might be a saint during the day, but when she with Vinny, something else.
Dear Diary, today I got a mom joke for the first time since I was 12. But enough of Vinny. I want to go to our winner today, the minor threat, Matthew Rosa. Matthew, you just came in here fresh off the block. You took that title away from Sandy, and you ousted Matt Kearns, who was trying to go for that title once again. How do you feel?
It feels good. It feels refreshing. It is especially winning in something that I didn't even know was happening until you started talking about it.
Wait, hold on. Really, time out here. Did Kearns lose something again?
Yeah, Kearns lost a base again.
Oh my god, oh my god, I love it when he loses. He loses Spanish every freaking week, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
Does he cry? Like when he loses these debates, does he go home, throw on some like Careless Whisper, and then cry?
No. Let me tell you guys what he does. He doesn't cry. What he does is he gets like portable DVD player. He sits in the corner and he watches freaking what's his? Oh, it's the dude from my Tango and Cash, but not Stallone, the other one. The other one from Tango and Cash.
Fucking Ego.
Kurt Russell. Yeah. Kurt Russell's his freaking name. He just watches Kurt Russell movies. He's such a weirdo. Oh my god, guys.
Matt Rosa, you know what this means. You now have to come back on the panel next week to defend your championship in the stand-up comedy, stand-up comics themed episode that will be airing. Actually, no, I won't be here. Malcolm Goldie-Lay will be hosting.
Guys,
I will be away on work.
This is not good. Can you guys just give me 1 second here? Sure. Vinny, you motherfucker, Vinny. I step away from the computer for 1 second. Hey, fuck you. I heard you lost the debate again. You know what, Vinny? You know what you lost? Your job the other day. Hey, excuse me. That is between me and the New York subway department. You said you worked for the construction department. That's same shit. Get the fuck back in the closet, you piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. I am so sorry. I got up to go and deal with something, and Vinny jumped out of the closet and took over my computer again. If he offended anybody on this panel.
How do you control the rattling? Like, do you just have like a piece of plywood that you got to nail against a closet, or do you just like let him out for like walks every now and then?
No, what I do is, and don't tell him I said this. I get a root beer, like mug root beer, glass bottle, put it into a paper bag, and tell him it's alcohol. Passes out. It's that mental thing where you can give someone apple juice, tell it's wine, and they'll get drunk. Yeah, same thing. Especially since Vinny is really stupid.
All right. Well, we're coming on to that almost hour and a half mark, and I think this is a good time to call it a night. This was a super fun, entertaining show. I think this debate thing is becoming like kind of our bread and butter.
So wait, I just have a question. So does that mean next week, is it just going to be Sandy and Matt who fight, or?
Well, Sandy, Matt, whoever's on the panel, really, like as long as we have 5 people.
Oh, so it's not like it's just a rotating championship. It's not
just
like
it's a rotating championship. I mean, like, yeah, if
not
Matthew
anymore,
can't,
it's gonna be mine forever.
If Matthew can't defend, the title becomes vacant. I am 95% sure that I won't be there, but we'll see. I would like to be here, but it just depends on how work is scheduling me. But yeah, most likely Malcolm is going to be hosting. Next week's episode, Late in the Take 3, where we'll be talking about all. Excuse me. Gas is not coming up so good. So we're on movie games, movie news, and then next week we're talking about stand-up comics with the great discussion that we kind of had here rambunctiously. But I
just have a question before we end.
Matt,
I wasn't here for news.
No.
Steve Ditko, we mentioned that, right?
Did we?
Steve Ditko passed away.
Oh.
I didn't
it was last week. Age of 90. He passed away last week, and they only released it today.
Wow.
Yeah, I just felt like, given we're comic book fans, and especially we're talking about Marvel, I mean, Steve Ditko, Spider-Man, that is not just Spider-Man, I mean Doctor Strange, but for me as a Spider-Man fan, Steve Ditko.
Like pretty well Jack Kirby levels of illustration.
Yeah, Jack Kirby. I mean, let's talk about Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, guys who built Marvel. Let's be honest here. Yeah, sorry to bring down on a downer, but I just thought we had to.
Yeah. For sure. Our thoughts and prayers here at Take 3 over to the Ditko family. Obviously, he was a pioneer in the comic book industry. I think a lot of artists have their influence from him and Jack Kirby and whatnot. So our thoughts and prayers out to them. But I want to thank our panelists for another great show. To the late bloomer, I guess, Matt Kearns. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter. Matt Movies 611 on YouTube. Right here, hosting Second Look. New episode dropping on Batman Mask of the Phantasm coming soon. And you can also find me, depending if work wants to screw me over or not, which they are tomorrow. Yes, I'm here now. You can find me attempting to win that belt. Debating. One day I will. One day when Kurt Russell is the big question, I shall.
Well, we have to wait for Kurt Russell to get another movie to our new.
He just got cast in that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood shit. I think that's good enough.
He got cast until it gets released.
Are you insinuating that Kurt Russell movie is not going to get released?
I mean, it'll get released. It's just a matter of when. To our new late night take 3 speed round debate champion of the Worldwide Movie Games Network. The longest title reign, longest title, I guess, of titles. Matthew Rose, the minor threat. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. No, excuse me. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and on the tip of your tongue. You can find me on Twitter at OTOYT Music. You'll find my single Better Half really soon, my EP a little while after that. We're working tirelessly to keep things going. So, yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Yeah. To our former champion of the late night take 3 speed round debate champion of the Worldwide Movie Games Network, where can everybody find you?
You can always find me, and by the way, thank you, and I'm happy to pass the championship over to Matthew Rosa. You guys always find me on anything that's happening in the Worldwide Movie Games Network, Full Metal Geek, all the matches you'll see me playing. You'll see me here doing reactions or stuff like this, jukebox trivia. You'll see me competing in. I'm everywhere, guys. Just look on Facebook and YouTube. You can find me. Just look up Sandy Robinson, and you'll be able to find whatever you need to find.
Yeah. To our producer today, the man behind the scenes, the host of next week's show, Malcolm Goldie-Lay. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
Well, you can find me hosting Late Night Take 3 next week. You can find me hosting Rankum on Sunday, where we talk about the top acting performances in the MCU. And you can also find me competing in trivia all over the place on Worldwide Movie Games and Multiplex.
Yeah. And last but definitely not least, I'm the Blacklight. Actually, wait, I thought there might be a show opening that day. I'm not sure. I think that there's a
No, now there's not going to be, at least for that episode, because just to screw with Matt here, I'm going to put Ed Norton on my list.
Yeah. And last but definitely not least, I'm the Black Knight of Brooklyn Vale. You can find me here at Late Night with Take 3, running shows most Fridays. You can also see me on my channel, Jukebox Trivia. We go live every Mondays. But here to check us out this Monday, where we have the minor threat, the new Late Night Take 3 Worldwide Movie Games Speed Debate champion of the North American, words. He'll be taking on Grant Gregory, the comic book lad. What should be a slobber knocker of a match. You can also find me everywhere where there's good trivia, Multiplex, Worldwide Movie Games Network. This is a great community, guys. If for anybody who's watching this for the first time, if it's movies, if it's music, television, if it's just pop culture that interests you, become a part of the community. This has been a great family I've been a part of for the past 10, 11 months, and it's been phenomenal. And I want to thank once again the panelists for being on today. Like, comment, subscribe on Take 3, follow the Facebook page. Yeah, we do reactions to.
I apologize. Just one thing. If this is your first time watching anything Take 3 related, I want to let you know the opinions, views, and language of Vinny do not reflect those of the other actual members of Take 3.
Well, we may have scared away the Stratford poker game community. That quarter game might have just gotten through the roof when they heard Vinny and his wild and boisterous accusations of certain members on this panel. But yeah, again, like, comment, subscribe. What did you think of this? If there's a topic that you think that we should talk about on the podcast, let us know. We'll try to get it in there. Cheers, guys. And as always, drive safely.